Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam Ramadan. So insyaAllah, we will learn on our next topic, which is Tun Hussein Onn premiership. So, Tun Hussein Onn, he said that our success have been founded on moderation. In a multiracial country, moderation requires strong disciplines. It demands sacrifice by all communities in the overall interest of the nation. It requires us to seek solutions which are acceptable to all communities rather than to any particular community. So, basically, Tun Hussein Onn was born in Johor Bahru, Johor on February 1922. He was the eldest son of Datuk Onn Jaafar, the Menteri Besar of Johor and first president of UMNO, and Datin Halimah. So he was married to Tok Puan Suhaila Tan Sri Haji Muhammad Noor. He was the third Prime Minister of Malaysia, which he ruled from 1976 to 1981. So he was granted as the sobriquet Bapa Perpaduan, which is Father of Unity. Okay, Tun Hussein actually dia mendapatkan pendidikan awal dia di Singapore English College, which is Maktab Sultan Abu Bakar in Johor Bahru. So beliau memulakan his career as a pegawai cadet in GMF, Johor Military Force in 1940, and pada tahun 1941 beliau telah ditugaskan ke Indian Military Academy in Dehradun, India. So selepas tamat latihan, beliau diserapkan di dalam Indian Army dan berkhidmat di Timur Tengah semasa Perang Dunia Kedua. So selepas perang berakhir, pihak British employ him as a instructor at Malayan Police Recruiting and Training Centre in Rawalpindi. So in August 1945, he returned to Malaya and was appointed as Commandant of the Police Department, Police Depot Johor Bahru. So later beliau berkhidmat dekat Malay Administrative Service and telah dilantik sebagai penolong pegawai daerah segamat. Then selepas dilantik sebagai penolong pegawai daerah di segamat, dia kemudian dipindahkan ke Selangor sebagai pegawai daerah Kelang dan Kuala Selangor. So pada tahun 1949, beliau menjadi ketua pemuda UMNO yang pertama, and in the year 1950 beliau dilantik sebagai Setiausaha Agung UMNO. However, Tun Hussein ni dia meninggalkan UMNO pada tahun 1951 untuk join his father in forming Independence of Malaya Party (IMP). So bila IMP hilang momentum and stability, beliau tinggalkan sebentar arena politik untuk sambung belajar at Lincoln's Inn, which he was qualified as a barrister at law. So he come back as a certified lawyer and practice in Kuala Lumpur. So Tun Hussein ni dia kembali kepada persada politik pada tahun 1968 selepas beliau berjaya dipujuk oleh Tun Abdul Raza untuk kembali untuk join UMNO semula. So beliau ni dia bertanding in general election dan berjaya memenangi pilihan raya tersebut dan dilantik sebagai Menteri Pendidikan. So pada zaman ni Tun Razak adalah Perdana Menteri. So in 1972, he was elected as a Vice President of UMNO, and on 30th August 1973, he was appointed as a Deputy Prime Minister, succeeding Tun Dr. Ismail, who passed away. On January 15, 1976, he was appointed as Prime Minister of Malaysia after the death of Tun Razak. Okay, Tun Hussein ni dia terkenal dengan keprihatinan beliau terhadap perpaduan rakyat melalui polisi yang dibuat, di mana polisi itu dibuat untuk memperbetulkan ketidakseimbangan ekonomi yang berlaku dalam komuniti. Uh, for instance, in April 1981, kita dapat lihat National Unit Trust Scheme being launched whereby it focused to strengthen the Bumi Trust economy. Sebagai contoh, kita ada amanah saham, kita ada amanah saham nasional ASN, dan kita ada juga permodalan nasional berhad PNB. So further, Tun pun fokus juga untuk mengukuhkan perpaduan melalui konsep rukun tetangga, di mana pada masa itu rukun tetangga ni dia dikhususkan untuk membenteras isu dadah. So in 17 Julai 1981, Tun bersara dari arena politik dan beliau serahkan jawatan Perdana Menteri kepada Tun Dr. Mahathir sebab pada masa tu dia dah tak larat dan dia start sakit lah. Okay, for the personalities of Tun Hussein Onn. So Tun Hussein ni dia tak suka take action based on permintaan ataupun tekanan lah. So basically segala tindakan yang dia buat itu adalah berdasarkan the real occurring situation lah. So bukan sebab ada demand ataupun ada request dari mana-mana pihak. Apart from that juga, Tun adalah seorang yang sangat-sangat tegas sebab yelah sebelum ni dia adalah tentera. So ciri-ciri ketenteraan tu memang nurtured dekat dalam diri dia lah. So segala pentadbiran dia dalam kerajaan ni ada influence dan dari ciri-ciri ketenteraan sikit lah. So dia dikenali juga sebagai the man of honor sebab dia ni adalah seorang yang anti rasuah, anti corruption, and anti juga kepada penyalahgunaan kuasa. So dia percaya yang everything, semua perkara yang perlu dibuat haruslah berpandukan undang-undang yang ada. Sebab dia kan well trained dengan military training, and dia juga ada background as a lawyer. So ada beberapa political challenge yang Tun face, which are factionalism in UMNO, kes Datuk Harun Idris, ada juga Chinese politik dengan BN, isu Kelantan crisis, as well as federalism Sabah dan Sarawak, and Islamic revivalism. So what is factionalism? Factionalism ni maksudnya dia berpuak-puak. So factionalism dalam UMNO ni berlaku disebabkan Tun Hussein ni dia baru je gantikan tempat Tun Abdul Raza selepas kematian beliau lah. Jadi dalam UMNO ni sebenarnya pada ketika itu Tun Hussein ni dia belum ada lagi sokongan yang betul-betul kuat lah. Kira tak ramai lagi yang sokong dia. So kalau semua ingat sebelum ni saya ada cerita yang zaman Tun Razak lagi, UMNO dia dah ada start berpuak-puak kan. Ada new guard dengan old guard kan. So kiranya zaman Tun Hussein lagi menjadi. So his action untuk lantik Mahathir as timbalan Perdana Menteri ni mendapat tentangan dari Kuli, Tengku Razali, Ghaffar Babur and ahli UMNO yang lain lah. So pada masa tu ada 3 orang tau. Ada 3 orang Vice President UMNO, which are Mahathir, Tengku Razali, Kuli, and Ghaffar Babur. So ahli UMNO yang ada ketika itu merasakan bahawa sepatutnya Kuli atau Ghaffar Babur yang dilantik sebagai Deputy Presiden atau Deputy Prime Minister sebab bagi dia orang Kuli dengan Ghaffar Babur ni senior. Tapi Tun pada masa tu dia lantik juga Mahathir sebab dia nakkan someone yang matang, walaupun masa tu Mahathir still muda, tapi Tun Hussein nak someone yang matang and ada pendidikan yang tinggi lah. Kalau kita lihat Dr. Mahathir ni dia ada background medik lah. So Kuli dengan Ghaffar Babur ni dia bukan setakat kecewa lah, tapi dia juga pilih untuk join All Guard. So other than join All Guard, diorang ni juga refuse untuk join kabinet selepas tu lah. walaupun diajak oleh Tun Hussein Onn. Okay. So this faction juga, this puak-puak this faction juga dikritik oleh Tunku Abdul Rahman melalui penulisan beliau yang mana Tunku kritik pentadbiran Tun Hussein melalui surat khabar The Star. So pada zaman tu Tunku ni diambil alih editorial position of The Star semata-mata untuk kritik kerajaan Tun Hussein and Mahathir. So another faction pula tuduh yang Tun Hussein ni dia dipengaruhi oleh ideologi komunis sebab dia invoke di ISA on tiga Abdul lah. Tiga Abdul ni namely as Abdul Samad Idris, Abdullah Ahmad and Abdullah Majid, yang mana mereka ni dikaitkan dengan left wing ataupun dikaitkan dengan pengaruh komunis yang berpengkalan dekat Singapura lah. So basically keputusan Tun Hussein untuk release those three Abdul tu adalah nasihat daripada Ghazali Syafi'i yang pada masa itu adalah Menteri Dalam Negeri yang merupakan supporters kepada Lee Kuan Yew, which Lee Kuan Yew ni dia claim that Samad ni dia was allied with communist. Kiranya Samad ni juga geng kepada Lee Kuan Yew. Jadi dia gunakan that power as an agenda untuk bebaskan the three Abdul. Dia nak bebaskan tiga Abdul tu lah. So that is the one of the reason on why Tun Hussein ni orang criticize dia as mudah dimanipulasi oleh di advisor lah. Okay, the second challenges faced during Tun Hussein Onn premiership is the Harun case. So Harun ni siapa? Harun Idris ni dia adalah ketua pemuda UMNO dan dia ni disukai ramai sebab usaha dia dalam mempertahankan hak orang Melayu, sampaikan orang gelar dia as traditional Malay heroes. Semalangnya, kes Harun Idris ni membuatkan sokongan terhadap UMNO oleh ada coalition party such as MCA and gerakan ni goyah bila mana Harun ni dia dituduh terlibat dengan isu rasuah yang melibatkan bank rakyat. Okay, jadi selepas heboh kes rasuah dia ni, dia kiranya macam untuk tutup dia punya kes rasuah ni, dia ditawarkan untuk jadi ambassador to United Nations untuk tutup ataupun slow down kes dia. Tapi dia ni degil, dia tak nak. Kira perkataan ditawarkan untuk jadi ambassador ni kira kita tak nak bagi nampak yang dia sebenarnya dipecat daripada jawatan Menteri Besar Selangor lah. So kiranya bila dia refuse ni, then UMNO tak boleh buat apalah. So terpaksalah juga kerajaan filekan pertuduhan rasuah terhadap dia. So as a result from corruption, Harun ni dia disabitkan hukuman penjara selama 2 tahun. Walau bagaimanapun dia punya supporters tentu ramai. So supporters dia pula terdiri dari geng-geng orang muda, especially pemuda UMNO lah. So the protest by pemuda UMNO ni berjaya memberi kemenangan dekat Harun dan akhirnya Harun dibuktikan tak bersalah. Walau bagaimanapun, bila Tun Hussein jadi Perdana Menteri, dia up balik kes ni. And Harun supporters, dia minta maaf lah ataupun appeal untuk minta dikurungkan hukuman. So, sebab Tun Hussein ni dia tegas, dia pilih untuk buang Harun and his supporter dari UMNO untuk bersihkan kembali nama UMNO. Okay. So, tindakan Tun Hussein terhadap Harun ni dia ada influence juga dari tuduhan Harun, yang mana Harun dengan geng dia tuduh Tun Hussein ni support komunis. Kira Tun Hussein malas nak cakap banyak, dia pun dia stand for rule of law whereby dia decide that Harun should be pleaded guilty for corruption based on law. Jadi Tun Hussein ni dia refuse to give pardon to Harun and let him sentence in jail until mid 1981. So jadi tindakan tu ni memang kira tak dipersetujui oleh pemuda dengan golongan Olgat lah. Olgat ni golongan yang support Tunku. Sebab macam yelah, tindakan tu ni macam tak bagi muka dekat ahli UMNO sendiri lah. Yelah, Tun Hussein ni dia tegas kot kan, as bekas tentera, of course dia sangat pentingkan rule of law. So the third challenges faced by Tun Hussein Onn, which is the Chinese politic within the end. So pada zaman ni, the Chinese start rasa yang diorang ni dipergunakan untuk gain voters only, and diorang punya demand dalam isu ekonomi dan sebagainya seolah-olah diabai oleh Tun Hussein Onn lah. So time tu diorang rasa yang polisi yang dibuat itu tak memberi benefit langsung dekat the non-Malay, orang bukan Melayu, tu yang diorang tak puas hati. So lepas tu the distribution of political patronage ni pun diorang rasa tak adil. Kiranya diorang nak ada macam large sum of patronage whereby sepatutnya lagi banyak position dalam kabinet diberi kepada non-Malay lah. Diorang rasa yang political patronage ni, lantikan perjawatan dalam kabinet ni tak cukup untuk orang yang bukan Malay. So apart from that, the Chinese wanted a reformation di mana diorang rasa that the political incumbent or pemegang jawatan dalam kabinet ni tak function well, walaupun the Malay adalah majority. So bila diorang rasa pemegang jawatan dalam kabinet ni tak function, diorang start untuk ugut untuk gantikan jawatan diorang so that the government will function better lah. So in the year 1970, the Chinese Unity Movement ditubuhkan untuk generate new dynamic leadership dalam MCA as well as to support any Chinese-based party and organisation. So from here, the Chinese decide untuk bagi sokongan penuh terhadap apa sahaja parti atau gerakan yang berteraskan Chinese punya kaum. So within MCA, there is a factional struggle between the established leadership and the Chinese Unity Movement (CUM) group, in which the group seeks to define Chinese right as opposed to the Malay and indigenous right. So kat sini Chinese ni dia dah start memperjuangkan hak orang Cina lah. So this CUM group gathers some energetic efforts of such people such as Alex Lee, Dr. Tan Tiong Hong and Dr. Lim Keng Yat. So eventually in 1973, CUM was demised by MCA under the pressure from the end through eliminating more militant spokesmen in CUM in order to preserve party disciplines. So despite the demise of CUM, MCA realized that they need to cultivate grassroots support and to espouse causes that would bring visible benefit to their constituent. Okay, however, the constraint placed by BN on public mobilization for policy demands by constituent parties made it difficult to non-Malay politicians in Barisan Nasional to compete with the opposition parties for support of their constituent. Therefore, MCA in 1974, under the presidency of Lee San Chun, began to explore various projects which would benefit the Chinese without raising major objection from other constituent parties in the BN. So the strategy was developed in order to the Chinese community could keep up with the changing economic condition and more competitive business environment created by the NEP. This is because the government system and government sponsored Bumiputra Corporation were posing serious challenge to non-Malay, especially the Chinese commercial venture, as NEP sebelum ni fokus untuk tolong the Malay, especially in the economy. So the Chinese need to put extra effort in order to sustain their economy. So in 1975, the Parliament passed the Industrial Coordination Act (ICA), which extend the NEP racial employment quota system to the private sector to ensure that the 30% employment of Malay in industry and commerce and promote them in appropriate sequence to supervisory and management position. So this new act view as difficult to the Chinese business, especially the traditional family-based small business enterprise. So the direction was the Chinese business community pressured both MCA and Gerakan to seek amendment to the act and secure favorable administration ruling in its implementation. So the pressure and opposition movement led by Associated Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Malaysia, ACCCIM, eh, in response to the high demand from the young and business Chinese community, MCA and Gerakan start to plan a strategy for Chinese revival, which are the first one, to purchase controlling stock in the star, to increase the Chinese influence in public affairs, in contrast to UMNO that control new Straits Times, NST for the same purpose. The second response is they want to promote Chinese stake in economy. Um, MCA sponsored Chinese-based corporate structure as opposed to the government-sponsored the Malay-based corporate structure. So it consists of the largest and most significant of such institution was Multipurpose Holding Berhad (MPHB) under the leadership of Tun Hussein Onn. The purpose of this MPBH was to become the primary institutional vehicle for promoting the Chinese investment in modern sectors of economy. Dan macam kita lihat sebelum ni Tun Abdul Raza dia support business Malay. So kali ni MCA dia buat strategi yang sama, cumanya dia sponsor Chinese based corporate structure supaya Chinese ni dia akan ada sustainable economy lah. The third one is the proposal of Merdeka University. As the Chinese concerned about the vital area of education, especially to preserve Chinese education and the increasing difficulty faced by the qualified Malays in gaining admission to public university with the Mitra quota system. So reaction to this all Chinese leader, MCA, Gerakan and the AP supported the proposal for the formation of private higher educational institution, which is through this support, it led to the establishment of Tun Abdul Rahman College. So the successful of this college lead to the proposal to establish private university called Merdeka University, but it was rejected by Tun Hussein Onn. Okay, so another challenges faced by Tun Hussein adalah the Kelantan crisis lah. So during this time, golongan elit dekat Kelantan ni dia tak suka campur tangan kerajaan persekutuan dalam pentadbiran negeri yang ditadbir oleh PAS lah. Walaupun pada masa tu PAS adalah part of Barisan Nasional, PAS ni dia tak suka any intervention. For them, biarlah dia orang yang uruskan any disputes. Walaupun tak suka campur aduk dari kerajaan persekutuan, kerajaan Kelantan yang consisting of PAS and UMNO still bekerjasama dalam urusan pentadbiran negeri lah, especially over matters of powers and public policy. So isu yang berlaku dalam krisis Kelantan ini adalah berkaitan dengan isu tanah. When Menteri Besar Kelantan Muhammad Nasir decided untuk dibekukan aktiviti-aktiviti pembalakan dan konsesi tanah bila dia dikaitkan dengan kes rasuah. Jadi ahli-ahli PAS pada masa tu dia desak Menteri Besar untuk letak jawatan sebabkan Menteri Besar ni terpalit dengan isu rasuah ni lah. So apart from that, Presiden PAS pada masa itu pun dia desak Menteri Besar Kelantan untuk letak jawatan juga. Unfortunately, rakyat Kelantan pada masa itu dia tak setuju dengan cadangan untuk peletakan jawatan Menteri Besar, dan berlakulah demonstrasi oleh 80,000 penyokong Menteri Besar Kelantan pada masa itulah. So menyedari yang rakyat Kelantan masih sokong dia as Menteri Besar, so dia refuse untuk letak jawatan, and kemudian lepas dia refuse untuk letak jawatan tu, dia pun dipecat daripada PAS lah. Bukan setakat dia dipecat daripada PAS, there's also a vote for no confidence, undi tidak percaya yang dipropose, yang menyebabkan dia terpaksa melepaskan jawatan Menteri Besar lah. So disebabkan penyokong Menteri Besar pada masa itu bertindak dengan ganas, Kelantan diisytiharkan darurat selama 3 bulan so that ia dapat meredakan demonstrasi yang berlaku. Okay, then Tun Hussein call for a surprise election in March 1978, in which led into three contending parties, which are UMNO, PAS and Barisan Jemaah Islamiyah Malaysia Berjasa, formed by Muhammad Nasir. So the result is BN 23 seats, Berjasa 11 seats, PAS 2 seats only in the 1978 election. So it was clear that BN and Berjasa had come to an electoral agreement before. So the event led to the expulsion of PAS from BN. So pada zaman ni, dan sebelum ada surprise election ni, PAS adalah sebahagian daripada Barisan Nasional. Tapi selepas kekalahan yang teruk dengan kerajaan BN, PAS bertindak untuk keluar daripada Barisan Nasional. So the fifth challenges is federalism that occurs in Sabah and Sarawak. So in Sarawak, Abdul Rahman Yaakob, who headed the Malay Muslim-based party Pesaka Bumi Putera Bersatu, dia exploited federal support and used his power as chief minister to build and retain control of Malay Native Chinese coalition. So it has led to the creation of Parti Pesaka Bumi Putera Bersatu (PBB) that include of Sarawak National Party (SNAP), which commanded the support of most interior non-Muslim native people and SUPP. However, the coalition started to shake in 1978 election. So the dissatisfaction over Rahman Yaakob leadership mounted with the accusation of corruption and nepotism in PBB. So the accusation led by Haji Ali Kawi and the factionalism in PBB breakaway to form new Malay party called Partai Anak Jati Sarawak (PAJAR). The breakaway led to another factionalism in other BN component, especially in non-Muslim native and Chinese, for example, Partai Umat Sarawak (UMAT), Parti Negara Sarawak (PANAS), and Barisan Rakyat Jati Sarawak Organisation (SAPO). So because of the weakening of his core support, Rahman Yaakob chose not to submit his government to a state election in 1978, as the same time the federal election was being held. After the federal involvement, the Sarawak Barisan Nasional finally agreed common slate of 24 candidates for the federal election. Okay, this is what happened in Sabah. In Sabah, the problem occurred when the pressure from federal authorities successfully made by Tun Mustafa Harun resign as Chief Minister of Sabah just before the 1976 state election. It has made Tun Mustafa furious, and he was plotting to recover his power as Sabah Chief Minister. When the new Berjasa government installed in April 1976, some UMNO leaders plotted to stage incident that they hoped would lead to the declaration of emergency rule. So, the sudden death of Tun Fuad Stephen in plane crash on 6 June 1976 has led to the appointment of Datuk Hari Saleh. So Datuk Hari Saleh quickly established control over the state government and proceed to formulate development-oriented state that contrasts with the waste and corruption of the Mustafa era. So even though his effort produced political stability in Sabah, but below the surface, ethnic tension continued, especially among UMNO leaders due to resentments simmered over their loss of power. After the 1978 election, UMNO joined Barisan Nasional back, but not at the state level, only at the federal level. So because Sabah government had only been in office for 2 years, there is no state election in 1978 as the same case in Kelantan and Sarawak. So for the six challenges, which is Islamic revivalism, so it is mere of manifestation of a growing mobilization around Islamic revival referred as dakwah. The increasing numbers of Islamic dakwah group expose Islamic ideas and propagate doctrines of a pure Islamic way of life. The problem is many of these dakwah organizations promote their objective by politically militancy and by active participants in politics. To the government, the increasing mobilization of Dakwah Group poses by both threat and challenge. Among the Dakwah groups that has been established during that time, Perkim, Abim, Darul Arkam, Jemaah Tabligh, and Aliran. So most of these organizations led by the new Malay intellectual elites, and many Malay tends to join them. The coercion and confrontational approaches taken by the government. So these are the social challenges that Tun Hussein Onn has successfully overcome in achieving nationality. We have religious cults, we have social unrest due to the federal state relationship, for example, the Kelantan crisis, Sarawak and Sabah issue, the illegal immigrants such as Rohingya from Indochina, the establishment of Madam, the ethnic relation, for example, by establishing rukun tetangga, education issues, for example, 40/60 quotas for art and science in school and university, implementation of NEP, for example, strong opposition to Implementation Coordination Act (ICA), which requires 30% Malays involvement and quotas in any commercial activities. For the economic growth, uh, basically, Tun Hussein Onn, they practice the same economic policies as had been formulated during Tun Raza era. As Tun Hussein Onn, they based on military base, dia ada military experience, dia tak berminat untuk create new policy, but dia lebih kepada meneruskan polisi yang sedia ada lah. So the transfer of corporate ownership to Bumiputera was accelerated. So heavy investment by government-funded Bumiputera Trust Agency and by programs designed to increase Bumiputera individual investment. The good track record successfulness in poverty reduction during 1975 to 1980 from 43.9% to 29.2%. Tun Hussein Onn has able to create new employment opportunities, government aggressive rural development, and provide new agricultural land. Okay, for the foreign affair, we have several foreign issue that happened during the premiership of Tun Hussein Onn, which are the first one, the political turmoil in Indochina. They create the influx of refugees. So pada zaman ni, pada masa ini, kemenangan rejim komunis dekat Indochina, kiranya Indochina ni dia mendapatkan kemerdekaan dia dengan penumbuhan kerajaan yang berpaksikan komunis, dia menyebabkan Thailand dengan Malaysia ada wujud bilateral contact untuk membanteras kegiatan komunis daripada berjaya masuk ke dalam negara kita. Sebab we afraid that kemasukan refugees akan membawa sekali di ideologi of komunis. So dari situlah wujud kerjasama Malaysia dengan Thailand. Sebagai contoh dalam kita memantau sempadan daripada diceroboh daripada komunis lah. The second one is Tun Hussein Onn visited Soviet president to secure a guarantee of non-aggression by Vietnam. So here, Tun Hussein Onn dia tak nak ada campur tangan Soviet dalam isu pergaduhan China and Vietnam sebab Soviet and Vietnam ada good relationship with others. So dia tak nak bila berlakunya pergaduhan China dengan Vietnam, dia tak nak Soviet interfere, which can create war lah. The third one is Kuantan Principle. So Kuantan Principle is signed by Tun Hussein and Suharto that call on both China and the Soviet Union to refrain from involvement in Southeast Asia and appeal for a negotiated political solution to the Campuchian dispute. So Tun Hussein ni dia minta untuk Soviet Union and China untuk support Zokfan sebab beliau sedar betapa pentingnya sokongan dari semua kuasa besar dalam menjamin konsep Zokfan ni dapat diteruskan. So kenapa Soviet Union dengan China? Sebab both Soviet Union and China ni adalah negara komunis. So bila komunis support the Zokfan, then for sure komunis takkan kacau negara kita lah ataupun kacau negara-negara yang dalam naungan Zokfan lah. Jadi bila kita dapat sokongan dari kuasa besar, Tun Hussein mengharapkan yang kuasa besar ni takkan campur tangan dalam konflik yang tercetus antara negara di rantau Asia Tenggara. So bila ada dispute, negara-negara berkecuali ni akan bertindak sebagai pengantara untuk untuk seimbangkan suasana as well as dapat mengelakkan tercetusnya perang. So the last one is Malaysia re-emphasized its mutual security arrangement by 5 power defense pact, which are Malaysia, Singapore, Britain, Australia, and New Zealand. So this has been done in order to further strengthen the military force and security lah. So negara-negara ini dia akan bertindak untuk memberi bantuan if any of them diserang ataupun menghadapi masalah lah. So there are several educational reform introduced by Tun Hussein Onn, which are the establishment of science secondary school in every state, the formation of MRSM, the creating a quota of 90-40 for science and liberal arts in the school syllabus, expanding the establishment of secondary, vocational and technical school in rural areas, as well as the recruitment of more teachers in the related field. So the Tun Hussein Onn started to retire because his health condition has forced him to vacate the leadership of the country. So he decided to retire and pass the leadership baton to Dr. Mahathir Mohamad in July 16, 1981. So that's all for today. Thank you.